Do you believe anyone will know the truth of what happened here when this is through? Songs have been composed for this story since the break of dawn. That is the only way the nature of our conflict will ever be reconciled in the minds of our descendants. I'll have the lady sing it, the condition for me to restore her voice. Would you like to hear a preview? Go outside and listen to the prophecy stones.
Look!
We've been traveling together for a week. Azand and Razak are waiting for you back at the Lover's Stone. They're ready to begin. We're going to engage in tonal communication with the island's mechanisms using the prophecy stones. Those were your words. No, Razak Bazefk. Or was it Razak Rock? Whatever. He says he's got the frequency down. He wants to run the plan by you before proceeding with the initial test. And I'll remain here with the Shadow Stone.
Everything's set. Ready to begin testing on your command. Razak's composing the instructions, but to be fair, this is all based on information you acquired. As acting leader, you should see it through, providing guidance along the way. Don't worry, a single tone isn't enough to cause a reaction. Oh, this was your idea, man. We're going to need your help anyway after testing. You might as well see how it's done. Alright. Wait. Actually, we thought you should do the honors. Use this tuning hammer to strike the stone. As hard as you like. These prophecy stones are made of void stone. Better to see if the hammers can break now before we split up. These hammers are specifically designed for tonal work. If we can trust the other Razak's word, then this is the only tool at our disposal that can be used to interact with the prophecy stones. One strike will confirm whether this works or not.
Feedback should be a nice, echoing tone. Perfect. Now, if the theory is correct, the other prophecy stones around the island will have vibrated on the same frequency just now. Kalilies should be giving us a signal. There! Meet me at the Lady Stone to the north, ma'am.
Hurry. These cliffs are nowhere near as safe as the beach. Yes. So many lost on the journey, but we made it. You've been occupied, so I understand you haven't kept track of the casualties. We lost a large group on the trek, and another that snuck into Zenchmark to get those hammers. The communication process requires use of multiple prophecy stones. It's a risk divvying up our group, but this is the only place on the island with multiple stones in close proximity. I don't understand why you're asking this. Striking the stones is our last hope of leaving this island. That's Sanitu Deus, the climate modification facility. There's nothing in there aside from the weather modifier. Scholar Ergagar was the only one who had access. Maintenance would have to visit his cottage at midnight sharp to retrieve the keys and return them by dawn.
He was odd. He wouldn't have been signed on if it wasn't for the fact that he worked on the schematics for a similar machine in Bombs Amschend.
It's along the eastern side of the Stronghold Mountain. There's a dirt path leading to it just off the main road. I hope you weren't thinking of going over there. Ergagar was a recluse whose only focus was climatology. If he somehow survived, he wouldn't be of much help.
Ready when you are. I'll do my best in explaining. Fundamentally, they're no different than the standing stones in the land of the Nords. Even their engravings are a perfect match. Unlike the standing stones, however, they're composed of a unique material. The same material that was used to build the Citadel and its outer wall, Voidstone. We all know that Voidstone has an inherent resistance to magic that can only be invoked by our magecrafters. According to what our friend from the Mage Tower told you, the stones also possess the ability of intercommunication, presumably through the void. I find that to be remarkable. Each stone is essentially a very primitive coherer. Yes, the Anomaly's imprisonment was heavily reliant on Voidstone, so you can imagine the security risk this knowledge would have posed. One of the several mysteries surrounding the stones that I was hoping would be answered. The stonework is not Dwemer, yet the rims encircling the edges are undeniably our metal. It can't be the work of one of our kin. Nordic forgeries by a long-forgotten pioneer, maybe, but that doesn't explain when they appeared. I thought everyone on the island knew the story. Have you noticed that the prophecy stones are always in the same general area as one of our towers? This was not by design. You see, the stones weren't there when we arrived on the island, nor when we began construction. They just came into existence after that, like they were always there. Only the bases are our work. Additions meant to stabilize the stones, so they wouldn't tip over or be dug up from the ground by thieves. According to those in charge, they are maintenance hubs for the temporal spatial claudication field surrounding the island. The underlying tech in each was beyond the understanding of anyone outside their close-knit circle, so who knows if there was more to it. Designations for each tower were based on the prophecy stone in the area. Trinity Tower got its name because there were 3. It was uncommon, but security didn't like taking any chances. Study of the prophecy stones was expressly forbidden by the Craft Lord. A researcher could make a name for himself if he managed to smuggle one back to the mainland. Possible, but we don't have the evidence to prove they're capable of doing such a thing. Some have suggested they're from another time. That we fulfilled some condition when we completed construction of those towers, allowing them to appear almost simultaneously all around the island. It was strange, to say the least, how everyone unanimously accepted their presence. In hindsight, it makes no sense. Something about this frightens me. I can feel my mind being tugged in 2 different directions. Focus. Focus. Yes, sorry, I don't know what came over me. Better to shift away from that topic. Yes, meaning we must be quick about it to avoid alerting any of our enemies that are still alive. Like what? I'll keep it as simple as I can. I wouldn't mind boring you with the calculus, but we're running a little short on time. How can I condense it? It's all in the notes. The music notes, I mean. It's a language in itself. With it, you can even speak to inanimate objects. You'll see. An accidental tone here or there won't hurt as long as we don't finish a sequence, but enough random tones can lead to disastrous effects. Thankfully, we have Flaren's notes to help guide us. One that will send our group to the Arkingham satellite station's teleportation chamber. Deciphering the instruction set embedded within each tone would have been difficult if it weren't for the formulas in Laren's notes. That station was intended to be the receiving end for the teleporter in the stronghold. Construction was completed, but not the calibrations. Apparently, Razak Laren's been holding on to him this entire time. It's all raw data, so we still can't make use of the teleporter, but we can use the coordinates to return us to the mainland. Don't worry, I'll be there every step of the way. We also have plenty of leeway to reset a sequence in case you mess up. Like what? Listen carefully to my instructions so we don't have to repeat sequences. We need to give the others the signal that we're about to begin. Strike the stone 3 times and hold. There. Hold. Wait for the others to send their signal. That was Mazand at the Lover's Stone. Try to remember the tones. It'll make things easier. And we're all set. Remember, strike only when I tell you to. Mess up, and we have to start from the beginning. Okay. Hope this works. Strike. Strike. 4 strikes.
Yes? Did you want something?
End of sequence 1. Starting the second one now. Strike. Strike. That wasn't one of ours. Wait for Kalilies to reset the sequence. again.
I'm all ears. Literally, of course.
Hey, these guys are from the Stronghold. Be careful. We don't know how many are with them.
You, with the paper. Bring it to me. No sudden moves.
No. I'm glad that's sorted.
Here.
Teleportation. You ran the numbers? It all checks out?
Yes, sir.
All right. You can have it back. Soldier, step forward.
As long as his man is posted at the stone producing that tone, we're at a standstill.
So this is the last group of survivors. You're their leader? I guess you are. Now follow me. I'm sure you do. Why not ask them away from the ears of the uninterested? We just want to talk. You have my word that no harm will come to the others, or to you. Unless, of course, you escalate the situation. We'll talk on the bridge. I'd like to get straight to business. My name is Nergal. I'm a soldier, just like you. Maybe we met. Prototypes, courtesy of the recently deceased. Their movements and attack patterns are modeled after living creatures. Mine were based off of werewolves. Enhanced reflexes, and because it looks nice. You can look at it that way, but I separated you from the rest of your group as a security precaution. I have a proposition for you. I can tell you're someone who doesn't like their time wasted, so I'll come out and say what it is. I want you to join us in the Stronghold. Help us turn this island into a crater at the bottom of the sea. This Bulamenthis is right. Yes, we killed ex-civilians after Nimbus fell, when things started getting hot. You'd do the same in our position, wouldn't you, Anomaly? You're insightful, I'll give you that. Also tenacious. Blowing this place to Kingdom Come serves our greater interests. Perhaps you can find something worthwhile from that outcome as well. This facility isn't a one-man operation, after all. We've both left bodies in our wake that would have helped you run it. Not to brag, but it looks like we outsmarted you in the end, friend. Now, will you join us? No. That's why we're coming to you for help. You've gotten this far on your own. You'll find a way. Think. In a couple thousand years, the primitives back home will have evolved drastically. By that time, I imagine their homes will be gracing the skyline, and their horses fed oil. All thanks to the legacy that Dwemer will be leaving behind. Do you know what will happen if they find this place before they reach that stage of intelligence? In curious hands, it would be disastrous. I couldn't care less if they wiped the entire continent off the map, but some fates are worse than death. Some fates extend beyond the grave, and could affect even us. Even you. I have suspicions backed up by somewhat credible sources. I'm not going to regale you with terrifying stories of what-ifs. Not when I'm unsure if you'd instead find them to be delightful. Fish for information elsewhere. Don't you want to demolish your old prison? It would be a testament to your strength. The power released from this entire facility would be so monumental it might be seen from the mainland. Demonstrate to the other races that they should fear you. Then why is it you don't recognize who I am, soldier? I was your commanding officer. To the one puppeteering the body, you must have known you'd come across someone who'd notice eventually. So please, don't play dumb. You're also not my soldier. So what does that make you? Either you're a liar, or your mind is beyond repair. Bickering about your true identity is pointless, so don't waste your breath. You're not changing my mind. What's left here for you to take? The technology is worthless, even dangerous in the hands of non-Dwemer. Face it, it's over. You should enlist our help while we're still alive. Ah, it seems that crazy oaf Razak Lauren has duped the Great Deceiver. Knock whatever crazy ideas you have out of your head. You should have thought twice before you fled from the only people who had an inkling of an idea how to get this facility truly operational. If you were hoping for a better bounty, then I'm afraid that it vanished the moment you escaped in such a reckless manner. I suggest that you take what you can and join up with us. Through those prophecy stones. If it turns out those don't work, then why don't you fly out of here? Or use whatever powers you've kept hidden this whole time. We'll stay behind to make sure it goes down as planned. Escape went off the table when we reassessed the scope of this situation. No one will leave this island, except for your band. I know you have a plan for that already. This whole thing you've got going on right now stinks of Razak Lauren. You know the bastard was going senile, right? He probably fed you lies just to get you off his back for a while. No one ever found out what the prophecy stones could do. Everyone was forbidden from studying them to begin with. Is that what he thought? Quite a high opinion of himself. We were actually trying to kill him and destroy his little army of animunculi and spriggans. We thought he was you, or controlled by you. Then you showed up. You know the rest. Damn. Feels good to hear you say that. I'll let your disciples continue playing with their tuning forks as promised. Let me give the signal to stop the interruptions. It is done. Your men can now get back to work. It's a ways back home. But luckily for you, the raiders are with you now. You've got nothing to fear.